Well, let's speak to Jim Bacon, Managing Director of Weatherquest now, who joins us from Norwich. A very good afternoon to you, Mr. Bacon. So your predictions, please. Is it going to reach this target of 48 degrees, do you think, in Portugal and Spain?
Well, I don't think so. I don't think we'll reach the 48 target, but I think we might actually get somewhere close to the 47 for either Spain or Portugal. It's getting close to it now. Alvega in Portugal, I heard just recently, an official station had got to 45.5. Still a little way to go yet. So it looks as though we're going to have to wait and see whether those official stations just peak at the record. One of the problems with temperature measurements in this sort of hot weather, you can get the effect of buildings close by, and if the thermometer isn't out there in the open and not getting sunlight directly on it, then you're going to have some erroneously high readings. Not by much, but it may just be enough to tip the balance for a record. But it certainly is stunningly hot. Not my sort of comfortable weather.
I mean, stunningly hot indeed, whether it's 45 degrees or 48 degrees. It's hard to believe we're talking about Europe. Is this the sort of weather we're going to see going forwards in the summer, do you think?
Well, Sally, I think the discussion is, amongst those who work in the research side of climate change, is that as things progress, you would expect these sorts of summers to become more common. So this might become a normal summer, for example, in 30 to 50 years' time, say. So this would be treated as the norm. And of course, you very rarely run a temperature trend right through the normal. There'll be peaks and dips. And what that means is that, of course, if the normal goes up, then the hot days in that sort of weather can be a lot higher. And that's where the problems come for health and safety and all sorts of other related issues.
And is this down to climate change, global warming, in your opinion? Of course, there are some who reject that science.
Well, I think we have to be careful how we describe it. What happens is the science is fairly well proved. The measurements of climate change, these are measurements. We're not talking about projections. We're talking about measurements, show there has been a steady rise in temperature. What you have to then say is, could an individual event, like, for example, this one, have happened by chance separately? Or if you look over a long period of time and you see that these are becoming more commonplace, then you're able to say, yes, this is quite probably a function of the changing climate. But you can't really put that label on a single event. But what you could do is to say, look at a period of 10 years, and if 9 of the 10 years were like this, then you would say it is very likely to have been a symptom of climate change.
So we've had extraordinary temperatures in the UK as well, albeit not as high as 45 degrees. But is it time that people start thinking about investing in air conditioning?
Well, I think that's one of the things you notice when you go abroad to these traditionally hot climates where this is more normal. And you do see air conditioning units all over the place. And there's still a vast percentage of the properties in this country that don't have air conditioning. And I'm sure that will be one of those other things that gets added into discussions when people design houses and plan installations. The other thing, of course, that does is it has a knock-on effect of electricity demand. You're no longer worrying about spending money heating houses, but you are spending extra money on the electricity to spin the fans and to get the air conditioning working. So I think it's a many-factored problem that we all have to treat very seriously.
Jim Bacon, thank you very much indeed for your thoughts today.
Pleasure.